Justin Drew Bieber was born on March 1, 1994, in the small Canadian city of London, Ontario, raised in the nearby town of Stratford. His earliest years were spent in modest surroundings. Far from the glitter and spectacle of the life he would one day lead. His mother, Patty Mallette, was just 18 years old when she gave birth to him. She raised Justin as a single parent, struggling financially while doing her best to provide love, structure, and encouragement. Despite the difficulties, Patty nurtured her son's creativity. She was the first to recognize the spark in him, the rhythm in his bones, the way music seemed to pulse through his soul before he was even old enough to understand it. Justin's connection to music began almost instinctively. He would bang on drums at the age of 2, strum a guitar by the age of 4, and was singing before most kids could spell their names. At age 12, he performed Ne-Yo's So Sick at a local talent competition and came in second. Patty, realizing she had witnessed something extraordinary, uploaded the video to YouTube for family and friends. But the video didn't just reach her inner circle, it reached the world. The more clips she uploaded, the more views they got. Justin's talent, his soulful voice, his ability to play multiple instruments, and his charm captured the internet's attention. Among those who stumbled across his videos was Scooter Braun, a former marketing executive turned talent manager. Instantly struck by the boy's talent, Braun tracked him down and convinced Patty to fly to Atlanta for a meeting. That trip changed Justin's life forever. In Atlanta, he met R&B superstar Usher, who was equally impressed and took him under his wing. A bidding war between Usher and Justin Timberlake ensued. But in the end, Justin signed with Island Records through Braun and Usher's joint mentorship. He was just 13 years old. From there, everything happened fast. In 2009, his debut single One Time was released and quickly climbed the charts, capturing the attention of young audiences across North America. Later that year, his debut EP, My World, dropped and was certified platinum in the United States. Justin became the first artist to have 7 songs from a debut record chart on the Billboard Hot 100. With his side-swept hair, boyish smile, and smooth voice, he became a phenomenon almost overnight. The term Bieber fever was coined to describe the global frenzy that followed his every move. In 2010, his first full-length studio album, My World 2.0, was released. Anchored by the global hit Baby, the music video broke records for views on YouTube and cemented Bieber as a new kind of pop star, one born not from a record label's blueprint, but from the raw power of the internet. That same year, he embarked on the My World Tour, his first headlining tour, which sold out arenas around the world and gave fans their first live taste of the boy they had come to idolize through screens. Despite his rising fame, Justin's teenage years were not spared from pressure. Living under a microscope, every action was scrutinized. Still, he continued to evolve musically. His second studio album, Under the Mistletoe, released in 2011, showcased a maturing voice. In 2012, Believe introduced a more grown-up sound, integrating pop with R&B and EDM influences. Songs like Boyfriend showed a shift from teenage crushes to romantic entanglement and adult emotion. He wasn't just growing up, he was doing it in front of the world. But fame at such a young age came with heavy consequences. As his success intensified, so did the pressure. The expectations were enormous. The constant travel, media frenzy, and lack of privacy began to take a toll. Behind the scenes, Justin struggled with the transition from child star to adult artist. He became increasingly entangled in controversies, reckless driving, altercations with paparazzi, allegations of vandalism and drug use. The headlines shifted from his music to his mistakes. By 2014, Justin had become one of the most polarizing figures in entertainment. While millions still adored him, others wrote him off as another young star lost to ego and excess. He was arrested in Miami for DUI, and his image was battered by endless tabloid scandals. During this time, Justin retreated from the spotlight. He canceled appearances, stopped touring, and focused inward. The pressures of fame had brought him to a breaking point. Depression, anxiety, and a deep sense of loneliness consumed him. He admitted later that he was using substances to numb the pain, spiraling further away from the boy who once loved to sing for YouTube. But out of that darkness came reflection and redemption. In 2015, after nearly 2 years of silence, Justin returned with his album Purpose. It was a career-defining moment. The record was honest, vulnerable, and deeply personal. Songs like Sorry, Love Yourself, and What Do You Mean were more than just radio hits, they were admissions of guilt, calls for forgiveness, and declarations of a man in search of peace. Purpose became a global success, topping charts in over 100 countries, and redefining him as not just a pop star, but an artist with depth. The accompanying Purpose World Tour began in 2016 and was one of the highest-grossing tour of the year. But even as his professional life soared, his internal struggles remained. Midway through the tour, Justin canceled the remaining dates, citing exhaustion and emotional burnout. It was a controversial decision, but one rooted in the need for self-preservation. For perhaps the first time, he chose mental health over public demand. During this period, Justin began to lean heavily on faith. He reconnected with his Christian roots and became involved with Hillsong Church. Spirituality became a cornerstone of his healing. Through church, he met and deepened his relationship with Haley Baldwin, the daughter of actor Stephen Baldwin, and a longtime family friend. The two began dating seriously, and in 2018, they got engaged. Just a few months later, they were married in a New York City courthouse, later celebrating with a larger ceremony in 2019. Marriage grounded Justin. Haley became a source of stability, loyalty, and unconditional love. Together, they navigated the demands of fame and the trauma of past mistakes. In 2020, Justin released Changes, a softer, more romantic album inspired by his relationship with Haley. Songs like Intentions and Yummy celebrated love, healing, and growth. While not as commercially dominant as Purpose, the album marked another chapter in his evolution. Later that year, he released the deeply emotional track Lonely, which reflected on the isolation of fame and the pain of growing up under constant judgment. His willingness to confront his past unfiltered and unguarded resonated powerfully with fans. In 2021, Justin dropped Justice, an album that returned him to global chart-topping success. Featuring tracks like Peaches, Hold On, and Anyone, the album blended pop, R&B, and soul with themes of redemption, love, and advocacy. He used the album as a platform to address social justice issues, even including speeches by Martin Luther King Jr. as interludes. It was a bold statement. Justin wasn't just making music, he was using his voice for something larger. Despite his evolution, challenges remained. In 2022, he was diagnosed with Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, a rare neurological disorder that caused partial facial paralysis and forced him to cancel parts of his world tour. The diagnosis shocked fans and underscored the fragility of health. Even for someone seemingly invincible, Justin responded with characteristic honesty, posting videos documenting his recovery and reassuring fans that he would return stronger. His transparency about his condition was both brave and important, shedding light on an illness few had heard of and showing the human side of a global superstar. Beyond music, Justin has become a powerful advocate for mental health awareness. He has spoken openly about his struggles with anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts. He encourages therapy, self-love, and honesty, using his massive platform to normalize conversations about emotional well-being. In doing so, he's helped shift the narrative around fame from perfection to authenticity. He has also grown as a businessman and philanthropist. He launched clothing lines, invested in tech startups, and supported numerous charities, including those focused on clean water, children's hospitals, and criminal justice reform. Yet despite his success, he's remained surprisingly grounded. He shares moments from his daily life with Haley, plays pranks on TikTok, and posts worship songs to Instagram. He's found balance in the chaos, peace in the noise. Justin Bieber's story is more than a tale of fame. It's a journey through the fire of public scrutiny, personal collapse, and the long road back to self. From a small-town boy with a guitar to one of the biggest pop stars in the world, he has lived 1,000 lifetimes in just over 3 decades. But perhaps his most remarkable achievement isn't the awards, the #1 hits, or the sold-out arenas. It's his ability to change, to grow, and to survive. He once said, "I'm not perfect, but I'm learning," and in that sentence lies the truth of who he is. Not a polished product, but a human being flawed, resilient, and still evolving.